Hey guys, welcome in.
Good morning, good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City talking sports and pop culture on 100.1 FM, Kansas City Radio. We're live here, Power and Light District. Rally House is where we are, right on the corner of 14th and Grand. Big 12 championship game day. Are you guys surprised that it is KU versus Texas Tech?
Not at all.
No shook his head like we could hear him.
Not at all. Not at all.
Why does no sound mad right now? Like, come on, man.
It's cold, dog. It's cold, man. You gotta give me a second to warm up. You know what I'm saying?
Jazz, are you awake this morning?
I'm awake.
Somebody get that baby a coat.
Yeah.
It's cold. Nah, don't give me a coat though.
Thugging, regardless.
Yeah, it's like, man, you didn't bring a. We knew it was gonna be 4 degrees, right, this morning. You watch the weather, don't you? Or look at your phone at least. Yeah. So did you wear a coat?
No, it doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
The
Texas guy.
Texas boys don't wear a coat.
I didn't bring a coat either. No, I'm sorry.
I mean, when it says that it's gonna be, in the 30s, I expect in the 30s, like what I want it to be. So
Hey guys, welcome in.
it ends up being like 15. I'm upset. So.
Yeah, man. We got a lot to get into today. Of course, we're here live at Power and Light District Rally House. They have a lot of apparel. If you're into the KU apparel, come down. If you're into Gates Barbecue, come down. Royals, of course, baseball is back. We're going to talk about that. And they have a lot of other stuff. I see some Kansas City Monarchs gear hanging up on the wall as well. And there's a lot of stuff. If you're from Iowa, come down. Basically, if your team is if you're in a bordering state, your team is in the Big 12, and they didn't make the national championship that game, come down and hang out with us. We have, like I said, we have a lot to talk about. Baseball is back. Players agree on a new CBA to salvage the 162 game season. The Seattle Seahawks, they trade Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos. I know Q's excited about that, but I'm not. Deshaun Watson, he avoids criminal charges as Houston grand jury declines to indict. And also Falcons Calvin Ridley. He's suspended for 1 year for gambling on NFL games. He did all that for a stimmy. We're going to talk about that. And coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll have our Sneakers of the Week during our Hated or Loved segment. Let's get to today's headline.
Baseball is back. The MLB players agree on new CBA to salvage 162-game 2022 season in the startling turnabout after more than 3 months of largely stagnant negotiations. The Major League Baseball and the Players Association have reached an agreement on Thursday. They have a new collective bargaining agreement that will significantly impact the game, capping a 5-day stretch of lengthy bartering that resulted in the chance to salvage the full season.
Wait a minute, what was that?
Man, that was this button right here, man.
Magical.
It's like Jazz's thoughts.
No, we'll start with you.
I mean, it's been no secret. I'm not a baseball guy, but I do think it was important for this to get done because these guys are out of work, and obviously when it comes to negotiations like this, it's always on the owners. The players, they just want to play. They just want to get paid appropriately. They don't want rules like a no shift, which that to me, people are likening it to like in football. You're not allowed to have two deep safeties like anymore. Like it's just silly. Like why would that be a rule that you put on the table? But other than that, it's just good to have baseball back. 162 games, so they have to squeeze that in. No spring training. But
How do you think that's going to pan out with no spring training? Like, of course, the guys have probably still been working out on their own and figuring something out. But how do you think that's going to affect them?
it's like having no training camp in football. You need that to start your season off. But I'm sure the guys will adjust. It is baseball. You don't really need much to get used to the physical part of it, but it's just kind of team building, camaraderie, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it took 99 days to get to this point, but I'm happy that the lower tier players, it's the lower tier guys that are going to be able to get paid now, and that was one of the biggest things. It's like, all right, you have players that are coming in from Dominican, you have players coming in from Cuba, and you want these guys to be in your farm system, but you don't want to pay them at all. And it was good for the top tier guys to actually step up and make sure that they're going to get compensated. They're going to get compensated really well too, as far as like housing, food, things like that, transportation. And it's weird, and I know we talked about it a lot last week too. When we look at the women and look at professional women's sports. Well, the players that are in the farm system of MLB, it's a similar situation. Even though they're men, it's totally similar. Where the owners are going to keep most of the money and not filter it through. And so I'm glad that the CBA is going to benefit some of those guys that haven't been able to get paid and take care of their family.
Yeah, baseball is a dying sport. And the popularity is struggling. But like you said, the owners are just trying to be greedy. And it's the same thing in every sports league, professional sports league. They just try to keep all of the money to themselves and hope that they can have cheap help.
Now, Seattle Seahawks agreed to trade Russell Wilson to Denver Broncos, and they get 3 draft players and draft picks. Q, we'll start with you.
I love it for Russell Wilson, really getting out of Seattle. I think it was 10 seasons there. So, yeah, I love it for him. I love it for the Broncos. I love it for Jerry Jeudy to finally get somebody that can throw him the ball. I'm sure this hurts Steve's heart that Drew Lock will probably be outcast from the league pretty soon.
It ain't looking too good.
But yeah, you love it for really for the competition in the AFC West as well, with all the quarterbacks that they have in the within the division. It could make things a lot more interesting.
This one is, as you said, interesting because Russell Wilson chose to go to the Denver Broncos, which instead of staying in the NFC. He waived his no trade clause. I know Pittsburgh was on that list, and a few other teams, but he chose Denver. And the AFC West is a really tough division, and the Denver Broncos have really been at the bottom of that division for the past, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And I think from his perspective, looking at it from a player's perspective, it's like, all right, I have an opportunity to go to a team where you have some young guys, some young talent, and I'm going to be able to prove some stuff. Now, looking at it from a team perspective, it's like, all right, we're going to give up Russell because we feel like we don't have anything. The Seattle Seahawks, we feel like he doesn't have anything left in the tank. He was injured last season. We saw what it took from him, from that injury. So it's like, all right, he's going to come out here and not going to do us any good. So we're going to ship him off. Yeah, we'll go ahead and waive your no trade clause. We'll send you wherever you want to go. It's not going to affect us one bit. So I think Russ is going to have to come out there and show, why he, was an influence MVP of the league, why he took his team to 2 Super Bowls in Seattle. But I think it's going to be an upward hill that he's going to have to climb, especially being in the AFC West, a tough division where you have Justin Herbert, of course, Patrick Mahomes, and Derek Carr. So, look, does that make Denver Broncos a contender now? Yes, it does. And people are comparing Russell in that offense to the Chiefs. Like, what is Patrick Mahomes going to do? Patrick doesn't play defense. Like, I could see if he was Tyrann Mathieu. I could see if he was Juan Thornhill or Nick Bolt, any of those guys. But he doesn't play defense. So all he has to do is go out there and ball, right? Continue to do what you're going to do and continue with that offense. And I think the Chiefs will be fine.
Yeah, no, I love it for the Broncos. I mean, the most important thing to have in this league is a competent starting quarterback. And Russell Wilson he's more than competent. He's an actual starter. So they got that piece. I mean, obviously they had a great defense last year. They got a new defensive coordinator coming in, but other than that, I mean, we kind of pretty much have all the pieces there except for quarterbacks. Now they can contend for a playoff spot. I'm not painting them as a contender as far as for a Super Bowl, but their trajectory is heading up. Russell Wilson is still, a great quarterback. I don't think Seattle so much shipped him off as much. Right. It's time to leave. Like, it's time to get out of here. We got to rebuild. Like, we're not on the same page as far as where we're headed. So,
what team gonna let their superstar go and not get nothing in return?
What choice did Seattle have?
A lot of choice. It wasn't on Russell Wilson in the front office. It was Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. So they chose between Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. What team gonna choose between their coach and
Carroll is on his way out too. Like, Pete Carroll's retired as well. Like,
I don't know no team that's gonna choose between their head coach and a starting coach. I just don't.
Steve, I
don't see it.
And then Steve also has his Chiefs bias.
No, the Chiefs bias aside, I just think that you're not going to ship your star player off and get nothing in return.
Because they're turning over a new leaf. They're going with the youth movement. They got picks. They got Noah, the tight end, the young tight end. They're not going for the. I guess we have a star quarterback. Let's build around them. We've already done what we can with you. Let's get you to a better situation because they're a good organization.
What team? We saw Deshaun Watson go through. We're going to keep you. We know you still have something left, so you're not going to go to another team.
You can't compare. You can't compare the Houston Texans to the Seattle Seahawks in terms of their quarterback.
Russell Wilson, your player and not letting him go where he wants to go.
Russell Wilson gave up on the Seahawks. And that's all there is to it. You said he gave up his no trade clause. So again, what choice did Seattle have? Seattle didn't have a choice. Seattle's choice was to rebuild.
They have a choice, just like each and every other team does, and where they hold the player hostage.
Why would you want to keep somebody that doesn't want to be there? And
they're a competent organization. They're a competent organization.
That's all I'm saying.
Why would they want to, have that bad blood there? And
Steve's throwing out assumptions that Russell Wilson doesn't have enough left in the tank because he's hoping that he doesn't have enough in the tank.
No, I'm not assuming anything. All I'm saying is there's a reason why they gave him it, and it ain't just because we're a nice front office. You don't want to be here, so we're gonna let you go to wherever you want to go. That's not why they gave him up.
They want to rebuild. We've seen it in the NBA. We've seen the NBA with these trades where it's a very lopsided trade. We've seen it in the NFL where these trades are very lopsided trades. Russell Wilson no longer desired to be in Seattle.
In the last 5 years, we haven't seen a trade where it's been lopsided. We haven't seen a trade where it's been like totally, where you look at MLB, whether you look at NBA or NFL, these teams will hold these players or they'll ship them off to a place in no man's land where they don't want to go. I don't feel like the Seattle Seahawks sent Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos because they were like, oh, we're being nice guys today. I'm gonna play nice GM or I'm gonna play nice owner and allow you to go to a team that you want to go to.
You inserted nice, and Russell Wilson waived his no trade clause. So again, he wants out.
Yeah.
He made that decision. The
Exactly.
Seahawks didn't make that decision. The Seahawks did what they should have done for a player that has led them for 10 years and really took them out of the dumps as an organization. Luckily, because who was that they tried to start over him that failed at Texas with the Texans, and then as soon as he gets to Seattle, it wasn't Brock Osweiler. It was
he left Denver. Yeah, he did.
No, he's talking about the Seahawks.
With the Seahawks. Yeah. So again, Russell Wilson saved them from the dumps. And now he's deciding to leave, and they honored that. The Seahawks are doing what a team is supposed to do for a guy that serviced your team for 10 years.
So they did him a favor, basically.
We've seen it.
So they did him a favor.
Exactly.
They did him a favor.
That's what I think.
They did him a favor.
That's what it looks like. That's what I mean. The optics are.
Steve sat here and said, "What does Russell Wilson have in the tank?"
It's only 33.
No, I'm just saying though, like no competent owner is going to send a player to another team and get nothing in return if he had something of value.
What do you mean he got nothing? He got plenty of pick players.
He got picks, man. Come on, if Russ is still the Russ that y'all making it seem, he's gonna get way more than just picks.
He got 4 of them. Like what?
He's gonna get way more. I'm talking.
Is that the same? He didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
I understand.
You don't
I
want a
understand.
quarterback
I
that's not
understand. Who are we just talking about that you said, oh, we need to get 5? We need to get 5 first rounders for him.
The greatest quarterback.
The greatest quarterback of all time. How many first rounders did Seattle just get for Russ?
I have no idea. I just know they got picks. That's what I know. I didn't know
so
too much
my
into
point
it.
my point being is, all right,
So what are
they
you
need to
trying
get
to
at
say?
least some first rounders. How many first rounders did they get?
So okay, I get what you.
What I'm saying is you didn't get any
what's your
value
point?
for him.
What's your point about Russell Wilson?
Letting him go and not getting anything value in return lets me know it's like, all right, we ain't rocking with you anymore, and because you really don't have it. They know the injury. They know what his injury was. They know what he's projected to be the next 2 years.
Look at his
You even
numbers
sent the
last
message
year.
said it took a couple years he won't be in the league.
For Drew Lock.
For
Go
Drew,
read that
for
again.
Drew, no, for, okay,
Go
for
read
Drew
that
Lock.
again.
For Drew Lock. But what I'm saying is, you won't get any. You got to get something in return if you're gonna give a quarterback.
So then that's just bad business. That's just bad business on their end.
Exactly my point. If that's the case,
doesn't have
That it doesn't have nothing in the tank. It doesn't mean none of that. So again, Steve is
Yeah.
taking his Chiefs bias and he's projecting it onto Russell Wilson, saying that Russell Wilson has nothing left in the tank. He's hoping that Russell Wilson
exactly what's happening.
can do nothing to
Look,
beat the Chiefs.
it's not even. It has nothing. It has nothing to do with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to be what they are. They got to shore up the defense. It's not on the offense. They got to shore up the defense to make sure that Russ doesn't get off. It has nothing to do with Patrick Mahomes. It has nothing to do with this Chiefs offense. It's all on the Chiefs defense and Steve Spagnuolo. That's my whole point. It's like, all right, if y'all gonna give up this guy, and get nothing in return, come on.
And without Tyron, the Chiefs have nothing left in the tank on defense.
They have plenty. They have plenty. Now you just trolling, but plenty. They have plenty. But yeah, I just feel like they're not giving him up. There's a reason.
We're gonna put a pin in this.
Yes. There's a reason they gave him up.
Come January, we'll see.
When the Broncos have a better record than the Chiefs and they're second in the AFC West.
Oh,
I can go there.
Are you serious? They go from zero to hero.
So you said the Chiefs gonna be third? Is that what's going on?
Oh man, I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna be spicy like that.
Yeah, that's Q's just trolling.
The
now. He don't
Broncos,
see that.
the
He doesn't
Broncos
believe what
no
he's saying.
longer have Drew Luck and they have an actual quarterback.
He has a point.
I see 10-7
For the-
I see 10-7 for the Broncos
For the Broncos?
this
Nah.
year. As presently constructed, I see 10-7.
And then you're returning a Chiefs team that has an offensive coordinator that doesn't want to be there and a quarterback that doesn't like him.
He on big troll right now. Like
He started it. You know, I'm just
no,
saying.
my whole point to everybody that's watching and listening is like, all right, you're not gonna give up a star player and not get anything in return.
But he's
That's all I'm saying.
Steve, he didn't want to be there.
Disgruntled employees get fired, but you're gonna get something
He
for
didn't
them.
want to be there, Steve. Everybody, it's like his trade value tanks
Man, you got
because everybody knows he don't want to be there.
You gotta look. I don't think you're gonna see Russell Wilson
Steve
get
says
off like
Russell Wilson has
like
nothing
y'all
to
think.
contain.
I don't think
I
you're gonna
mean, we're talking about Russell Wilson, not Russell.
two different Russes, but we'll see.
I'm sending him his stats.
No.
We'll see. We'll see.
For Steve's sake, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll
Please.
discuss Falcons Calvin Ridley suspended 1 year for betting on NFL games. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City! KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City!
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Now, Falcons Calvin Ridley suspended 1 year for gambling on NFL games. As Steve put it earlier, over a stimmy. It was, what was the total amount? $1,500 for his whole 1 year. Now we'll start with you.
I don't have a ton to say on this other than
I do.
a lot of hypocrisy.
A lot.
It's one of those things where it's like, you see the guy who committed the crime, and you're like, you're dumb for that. Why would you do that? Blase, blase. And then on the other hand, you have this giant entity, arms and legs and everything, and you're looking at them, and it's not much, backlash coming back at them. Aside from people who really see. I would just say, being in a position that he is in, I wouldn't have necessarily done that. But why shouldn't he be allowed to bet when he doesn't actually have skin in the game? As far as he was backed out of the season, he wasn't able to play for mental health reasons. He was betting on games from his own phone. I just kind of feel like it's not as big of a deal as maybe some of the other stuff that the NFL allows people to get away with over the years. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying whether he's right or wrong. I'm just saying there's other stuff out there that people have gotten away with. It wasn't a whole year suspension. That's my only point.
It was the league that hid the effects of CTE. The same league that basically says that black players are not smart and their brain damage is not bad is going to say that a player can't use FanDuel. And that's like the silliest thing in the world. Now,
He also bet on NBA games too, which they're trying to bring that into it as well.
Exactly. it's silly. It's all silliness. And, you know,
he bet $1,500 on a parlay bet, right? Like I understand the and I'm gonna preface this by saying I think that the players should be. I feel like players should be allowed to bet. I do. However, rules are rules by your employer, whether you like them or you don't. When you break the rules, you got to suffer the consequences. Now, he broke the rule of betting, whether he was playing, he was still under the NFL guidelines, under a contract, whether he was playing or whether he wasn't. And he wasn't playing at the time. He was in Florida, and he chose to bet on an Atlanta Falcons game, the team that he is employed by, that he knows a lot about. Whether it was $1,500 or $5, you still placed the bet. And we can sit here and go back and forth about, oh, he shouldn't be suspended for a year. He should only be suspended for this amount of time. But he made the bet. So now he made his bed, so he has to lay in it. And I don't think he should be suspended for a year. Let me start by saying that. However, it is what it is. Now, on the flip side of that, the NFL, I feel like they need to take other situations, whether it be domestic violence by these players, drinking and driving, whatever it is. They need to look at some of those consequences. Like, all right, you're only going to get 4 games for steroid use. You're only going to get this amount of games for domestic violence. So I feel like now they have to go back and kind of relook at those players that have done those type of things. Like, let's look at this situation and see how we can now come back and say, next player that does that is going to have a 1-year suspension, because gambling and domestic violence, they don't even equate.
No,
gambling should get a fine, no suspension.
Yeah, but to Calvin Ridley, you bet $1,500.
It wasn't that
invested,
he was
and whatever it was.
More than that.
You bet the amount of money that you bet and risked your $11 million contract.
With no burner. You have no burner.
You don't have
account,
no friends.
Burner.
That's when you go
You have no girlfriends. You don't have.
Look,
where?
What did Chris Carter say?
Your people. Where?
You gotta have a fall guy.
Man,
you gotta have a fall guy.
Didn't Kevin Hart say like you need a squad of people around you? Like you can't.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand sometimes how these dudes move. And like I said, I really don't want to get into bashing him because
I'm bashing it.
Yeah, I know. I get it. But like, come on, man. I just feel like it's too many avenues you can use to get away with that.
Yeah, if you want to bet, hey man, call Uncle Freddie.
That's it.
Call Uncle Freddie.
Yeah.
Uncle Freddie knows a guy that knows a guy.
Uh-huh.
And here, take this 15. Take my stimmy and go put it on. Go put it on some games. Go put it on some games.
I think it's silly, bro. I think this thing at the end of the day is just silly. Like get caught up like this, and then tweeting through it was rich.
I mean, at least he doubled down on it, literally.
Nah, he said, "I did it. I done it. Out of happy."
He doubled down on that.
Yeah, I respect that. I do. I can't do this, but
That 1 year still gonna stick.
Whoa, $11 million.
Less.
What could you do with $11 million, Chad?
I can do a lot of things with 11 million. I can think of a few things.
Actually, 11.1 million
disappeared.
You won't hear from me. Good. Now, Duke head coach, Coach K, upset by UNC in final home game. This season is not over, but Coach K and Cameron Indoor Stadium almost is, and it ended in a stunning fashion and upset at the hands of North Carolina. Let's hear Coach K's reaction post game.
This isn't part of the program. This is impromptu by me. I'm sorry about this afternoon. Please, everyone be quiet. Let me just say, it's unacceptable. Today was unacceptable, but the season has been very acceptable. And
first off, for Coach K to be able, did y'all hear how fast it got quiet? Like for Coach K to be able to say, no, let me speak, be quiet. And it just got dead silent. 17,000 fans is like, all right, I'm gonna get real quiet for Coach K. But I think they lost to North Carolina, his rival that he's battled with for umpteen number of years.
Unranked.
They got a sting.
Ooh, man, I'm talking about that's like your biggest hater coming to your funeral. Posting up, like just not saying nothing to nobody. Don't hug your mama. Don't do nothing. You just there. And they just, I mean, like you said, season not over. They can still possibly salvage it for the national championships in the mouth, that way. But the last home game at Cameron Indoor.
That might make me come back just because of that.
Just
to make
one game. Hey, booked him at the beginning of the season, and I'm out after that.
For real.
Hey, but I think Coach K, as a competitor, would do some stuff like that. It's like, all right, hey, the next time we play them, I'm coaching, so that way I can get their last L, and then I'm out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was tough. I mean, that was definitely tough. But they, Duke did the same thing to UNC when Coach Williams, was on his way out. They swept him twice.
Yeah. It's tough though. It's tough, and I know the fans really didn't like it. But hey, why would you allow them to schedule North Carolina? Because at the end of the day, you have some say so on your schedule.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna schedule NC State. One of those Georgia Tech,
UMKC,
something like that, where I know I'm gonna get me a victory on the way out. Did y'all peep the handshake line? They were so salty.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was ugly.
It was bad. It was really bad. But I mean, you get schools that book teams, whether it be senior night, whether it be homecoming. They just you don't book good teams when you have something that is like that. You just don't.
I mean, but Duke was ranked number 4 in the country. It's like that, and like I said, UNC was unranked. So it's like this is set up perfectly. I have a school I hate. They're unranked. They're sorry this year. I have a very good school.
You have one job.
Y'all players, he upset at the players. He wanted to call them some choice names.
Yeah.
So.
Now, 5-star recruit in class of 2023 signs agreement with collectives that could pay him more than $8 million. See, what could you do with $8 million?
A lot. I'm tell you exactly. No, but it's good though for these young people, and I see a lot of people saying that it'll mess up college basketball, college sports in general. But I don't think so. I mean, this is just it's back pay, really.
Exactly.
It's all it is. These kids have been working for these universities for a long time. And I'm just saying, just black kids, but white kids as well, right? Just athletes. And so I think now it's time for these kids to start getting paid, whether it be $8 million, $11 million, whatever.
Legally paid.
Because
we knew they were already getting paid, but the NCAA tried to act like it was so egregious, and it didn't never happen. Oh my God, he had a dinner with a potential, coach.
Yeah.
No, we can't have that. You won't play 16 games next year.
Exactly. And I was talking to a coach inside of there, one of your assistant coaches, and I won't mention his name, but he was just saying, man, we can't really get a lot of fans to our games now. We're not getting the recruits that a bigger university would get, or that a bigger university is getting. So we're going to have to, after this season, figure out how to package some NIL into our recruitment, so that way we're able to keep up with the bigger name schools. And I got to thinking about it. I said, man, that's a heck of a way to have to recruit a kid, saying, all right, well, because the kids are going to come in, the parents, are going to come in and say, hey, well, so-and-so got $8 million over the next 4 years. What are you able to offer?
What's your offer?
Yeah, what's your now you can literally say, what is your offer? So I think it's going to come to a time where you're going to see these kids getting $15-20 million over a 4-year span. Now, will they see all that money? I don't know, because a lot of kids are going to say, all right, if you're that good.
Oh yeah. Right. And you're gonna see a whole lot of these kids signing these deals, and then they're like, well, I'm set for life. I don't even have to go pro. I am pro. I can get this deal after 4 years, play at this college, 3 years, whatever it is, and then you move on and do what I might actually want to do with that $15 million.
And not only that, though, not only that, it's like, all right, I'm making $8 million over 4 years, $2.5 million, $3 million. It's like, man, I'm making more than an NBA guy that's the 12th man.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Exactly. So again, it's going to be like, do you really want to go to the league, or do you want to do something else? Like, you have that option now. Like you said, this is just back pay. Like the NCAA, however mad they are at this, you have to get with the program, because this is what you reap what you sow. Like, you made this bed. Like, you decided to, treat these players like this and suspend them and make them out to be villains. They're, for however long the NCAA has been an entity. And so now you got these kids getting what they deserve. And I mean, I'm sure it's also funny because you got these other coaches. They're like, I don't like it. It doesn't help. It hurts the recruiting. I'm like, well, tough.
If I'm in the front office of NCAA, I'm going to say, okay, how can we, as a league, as the NCAA, go to these big name sponsors, the Toyotas, the CarMax, whoever? How can we go to them and say, okay, give us $10 million and we'll filter it through different teams, right? We'll filter that way. You're keeping these kids in school, right? And you're actually able to bring in more money. Because if you're bringing in $10 million and you divvy out $2 million of that 10, you're still keeping $8 million in the kitty. So it's just like, all right, but now it's too late.
That's a fleeting dream for you to think ahead of the NCAA.
I can't think for them.
If they don't want to end up with what's going on right now, people stray from the NCAA. In basketball, kids are going overseas instead of going to college. I mean, really, I'm interested in seeing the effect of football, because football, the rule is you have to be in college for 3 years.
Yeah.
So.
And we don't know if this is a football kid or not. They kept. They said that they wanted to be anonymous.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
So it could be a football kid. We don't know.
And I'm just thinking, as 18, 19, 20-year-olds in college, and you're going in with recruiting, and that much money is sitting on the table. Like, that's so much decisions. And I don't know if I can make that at 19 years old. Like, you're telling me $4 million in front of me versus, like you said, if you're going to go to the league, what you're going to do from there. That's a whole lot of decisions. That's overwhelming. And I can almost understand why anonymous would want to stay ducked up or whatever
like
you want to do. Yeah, like.
But when I pull up in this new Benz to the campus, y'all gonna know it's real.
That is the problem with us, man. We doing silly stuff like out there. Yeah, I got a new bag. 18 years old with a new Benz? Oh yeah, no, my mom got it for me.
But also like these different leagues and these different schools, they should have a financial advisor ready for these kids. But then that's also a slippery slope, because these different schools and these different leagues, their financial advisor is going to rob these kids, and then give it back to the university. So that's it's a slippery slope, because the NCAA is not in it to help anybody but their own pockets.
And to Noah's point, though, too, is like these kids that were getting it illegally, right? They would have Uncle Joe and Uncle Freddie and them pulling up to the game with Gucci belts and Gucci hats on. It's like, come on, bro, you can't afford that.
What you think what's gonna happen when they get $11 million?
Man,
the fam is going to take care of it.
Take care of me, nephew. Look out for me, nephew.
You already know.
Take me to the mall, baby. Take me to the
mall. Give me a sweater.
No, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll have our Hater Love It segment. Kick it off with our speeches of the week. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
They doing that on purpose. Like, like there's nothing.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City!
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it. Whatever topic you want. You are not getting frostbite. Starting off our sneakers of the week, we have the Air Jordan 12 Playoff 2022.
Goldish.
Yeah.
Kind of upset I missed these, but it is what it is.
I remember in high school when these came out and everybody skipped school.
I'm mad I missed these, but I think and they were just like the OGs, like there were no, sometimes they have subtle differences. These were it. Like, yeah, I'm sure I can get them on a resale market for about $500.
$500. Good luck.
The Reebok question mid blue toes.
I might actually put my bid in the half of these. Like,
no,
these are dope.
Yeah,
I actually like these.
These are the classics, man.
Only thing about the toe is that once you wear them a couple of times, the blue starts cracking, and it just looks all bad.
It's like foil.
Yeah, yeah.
Tragic.
Nike Dunk lows.
Yes.
I like these.
Yes.
Wait,
That
Bordeaux.
colorway is tough.
Bordeaux, yeah.
Oh,
Bordeaux,
man.
yeah. Nice.
Tough. My personal favorite this week, the Sakai Nike Vapor Waffles.
Yeah.
Y'all was
With the
talking
gum
about
bottom.
these
Yeah.
I'm iffy on
Yeah.
these. So these are the infamous $2,000 shoe y'all was
No, these are different. These are different. These are the newer ones. It's funny because one of the coaches for Texas had these on like 3 days ago. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, did y'all see those? And I was like, what? Oh, yeah, I do see the vapor, the waffles. And then I looked and they didn't come out until today.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on,
He's
Texas,
ahead of the
man.
game,
They
man.
have
Texas.
they have their own network.
I know.
they have things. They have access to things that regular people like us don't. So.
I need them. I need that access. Now, Joe Buck is expected to leave Fox Sports for ESPN, where he will become the voice of Monday Night Football. Hate it or love it.
I like Joe.
I like Joe. I like him for baseball, not football.
I don't know why people don't like Joe Buck. I think he's got the voice for
He's not exciting enough, is what people say.
What do you want is football, man. Like, what do you? I don't understand. Like, like I don't know.
I mean, you know me, I think we're going backwards. I think we're going backwards. Last season, season before last, we had the Nickelodeon broadcast where they brought in Nate Burleson with some kids, made it very entertaining.
It was peak.
What is Joe Buck gonna do? And I don't know. I mean,
People love him now.
Who's going to Fox though? Because they lost Aikman and Bug, and they had the Super Bowl this year.
But look, they're not wanting. Fox isn't wanting to pay their talent. like ESPN is ready to throw. I mean, I know, look, ESPN had gotten rid of some people, and now they like got money to blow. But come on,
Fox got to fill that hole though, because they got the Super Bowl this year, and they just lost their 2 voices.
yeah.
So who's he gonna be?
And Troy Aikman came out and said that Fox never countered when he told them like, hey, ESPN offered me X amount. Fox didn't want to counter.
So they're both going.
Yeah, they're both going.
And Joe Buck, they allowed Joe Buck to go and explore to see what else he can get out there. So
Don't be surprised if Skip goes back.
Oh God.
No.
I doubt that.
No.
I don't want
He is
Skip
Fox
as the
right now.
color analyst, bro. Like,
No,
He is
yeah,
Fox.
that's not the voice I want to hear.
They're gonna have Skip and Shannon
Skip, please
broadcasting
don't.
the Super Bowl.
Skip,
bro.
please don't leave. We'll give you $1 billion.
Man, it's
Super
terrible.
Bowl Sunday and Buddy using Skip and Shannon on that. Yes, bro.
Now, unvaccinated MLB players can't travel to Canada. Won't be paid for missed games. Hate it or love it.
It is what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is. You gotta go get vaxxed.
Go get your jab, man, or else you tend to miss out on money that for no reason. To me,
Canada ain't budging.
they're not
budging, bro.
Here's the thing, though. It's like when you know that your team is going to go out of the country, you either gonna get out or lay down. Right, so you want to be able to go to Canada. You know Canada's on Toronto's on your schedule. You better go get vaccinated, or you're gonna lose money for that game.
State
Now,
property
sometimes people, these athletes are like Kyrie. Some of them won't budge.
They don't care,
Yeah.
which is fine. That's totally fine.
Stay back.
But here's the thing, though. Kyrie's made his money,
He is.
so he can afford to say, "All right, I'm only gonna play away games.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play home games." So.
Better get in gear when we come to these playoffs.
They mess around and be in a series with Toronto, then it's just.
Now, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, call out Sixers star James Harden. Hate it or love it. Let's hear what he had to say.
Yeah, Charles makes a great point. For the last 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 years, that's the knock on James. Will he show up in the big game? And listen, today is a big game. You publicly said you didn't want to be third fiddle. You wanted to be here. You wanted the smoke. So this is the smoke. Today we're at the cigar bar. What are you going to do? Are you going to step up?
cigar bar.
That's right. We at the cigar bar. We at the hookah bar. You got to step up. This is a big game. The knock for a long time is you're not going to step up. And guess what? Charles is right. You haven't stepped up. This is a scary situation because we brought you here for a reason. We need you. If we get to a Game 7 situation, which is the big game, you need the big main players to step up. And he ain't stepped up in a long time.
And I want to make this point. You don't have to play great. You just can't play bad. I mean, listen, they're great players. The other team, sometimes they play special defense to slow you down. Like we were talking about Steph a couple of weeks ago when they kept doubling him. Sometimes the other team, but you just can't play awful. That's the problem.
Hey, look, he said you don't have to play great. You just can't play bad. No, you're James Harden. You're one of the top 5, 10 players in the league. Right. No, 5 to 10 top, paid players. Not talent wise, but paid players.
Okay.
Yeah. But here's the thing too. You gotta go out there and perform. Right? Like you gotta go. You can't and this has been a thing with James Harden, even when he was in Houston. He doesn't show up for the big game. The thing with James was, he doesn't play defense. Then he tried to show when in the bubble. I don't know if you guys remember when they were in the bubble. James tried to show up. All right, now I'm a defender. I can defend.
Yeah, he tried to play defense.
But his scoring lacked. So why can't he do both? Like you're in the league, man. Come on.
He ain't built like that.
He ain't LeBron.
See what the kids say. With the kid, use their language. He ain't built like that, man. He is a regular season guy right now that he can't put up numbers on high volume of shots in the playoffs, but come time stuff gets tight, guys start getting up in your chest. He tends to shy away from that, and we saw it in the game with the Nets where Kyrie, he wanted all the smoke. He was like, all right, well, yeah, I'm going to take the challenge. I'm going to guard you 94 feet. And James seemed a little timid. And it's like, all right, it's a regular season game, but it had a playoff atmosphere. Philly was on fire. They were like, everybody was chanting, talking about effing Simmons. It was, Joel Embiid and KD were yapping. That was a playoff atmosphere. And supposedly one of the top 4 players in the game went 3 for 17 and only took 2 free throws. Can't have it.
Yeah, and James Harden is going to take the brunt of the load for this because he's gone from team to team to team searching for the ring, right? And he feels like he's a top 5 player in the league,
Which arguably he is.
Arguably, yes, yeah. But I can name 5 other better than
That
James.
you would rather have. That
Yeah,
I
than
personally
me,
would
yeah.
rather have. Yes, of course.
So he's going to take the brunt of the load for this. It's not going to be Joel Embiid because, and why is it Joel Embiid calling out James Harden like he did Ben Simmons?
We'll see.
But
It's new. We're not even
We're in the
so that's why
Can't do it quite yet.
dealing with
man.
that Ben stuff for
And
some
the thing
years.
about it too is the fact that you got the Brooklyn Nets, who the Philadelphia 76ers are going to have to go through to get to where they want to get to. So time will tell. Time will tell.
Now, Kwanzaa Martin out at Missouri after 5 seasons, following 12-21 season for Tigers.
I hate it. Wrong. I hate it because man, Kwanzaa was a good guy, and I know sometimes businesses they don't care if you're a good person, right? They want to get wins, W's in that column. So, man, it's gonna. I'm sure he'll like Coach Self said the other day. I'm sure he'll land on his feet.
They're gonna hire one of these sleazy
Sleazy.
great. Yeah.
Hire somebody sleazy.
That's what. But this is what I'm saying. They gonna hire a dude. I don't want to name names as for when I say sleazy, but you know the type of coach I'm talking about. Like the guys that have been fired for certain infractions, maybe involving women of the night. Those, you know what I'm saying? Those coaches, they're gonna end up hiring one of those guys because, like you said, they want to get wins. But I didn't want to say names. I didn't want to say names, but you know the type, and so I think that's where Missouri is headed. And I think they should have gave him a little bit more time. I mean, this season wasn't the greatest. The SEC was tough this year. It wasn't exactly a bad conference. So I would have liked to see him stay for a little bit longer, but it is what it is, and he probably will land on his feet.
You got to get somebody, a former player, a Kim English, somebody that has Mizzou ties. And you got to DeMarc Harrell. Yeah, you got to get somebody that can recruit and that has Missouri ties. And I feel like Kim English, to me, is the guy that stands out.
Now, Buccaneers center Ryan Jensen responds to gift from Jimmy's famous seafood, hate it or love it.
What is this?
The Baltimore Ravens could be in the market for a center in the coming days, as it's possible that Bradley Bozeman signs a big money deal elsewhere during his free agency.
Yeah, it's crazy because Thursday, this restaurant has been known in Baltimore to recruit players. They've been known to recruit players. So let's just say Patrick Mahomes, for instance. I'm just throwing a name out there. Let's just say Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. They're trying to recruit them to come to Baltimore. They're going to send them care packages like, all right, this is what we can give you. This is the seafood that we have to offer. And so they sent him some seafood. He posted on Twitter, y'all are shameless in the most delicious way possible. Appreciate y'all. So yeah, they trying to recruit him. They know.
They would have got me.
We need restaurants like that in KC. They would have. Hey, we recruit me.
Send me a Gates platter.
That's what I'm saying. That's
all it takes. They got me.
Yeah.
Easily bought.
How to use sauce? I'll show you.
Exactly.
Suns Biombo pledges entire 2022 and 2021 salary to build hospital in honor of late father. Hated or loved it.
I love it. Seeing players use their money for good use.
The team should match it.
The Suns on this.
I mean, the team should match them. They have the money for it.
Suns on this.
$2 billion organization. You could help your player with. It's a family environment, correct?
Robert, sorry.
They say full salary. That's a little too much.
Yeah, that's a little too much
bread. We're talking in the thousands. You would have doubled down. But now millions.
Already
We ain't got it.
basically.
We can't do it.
All right, we appreciate everybody who joined on today's show. Before we get out of here, though, we want to talk about this game that's going to be happening behind us. We're right here live, Power and Light District, Raleigh House is where we are. And there's going to be a championship game tonight. That's KU, University of Kansas versus Texas Tech. Who you guys got?
KU easily.
Yeah, sorry, Texas Tech. I love your grit that you showed these couple of days. You guys, they got a bunch of seniors. They start 4 seniors and their juniors. They're gonna make the tournament, but as far as this game, I just don't see any way that KU. This is one of those games KU would have to lose. It's not one that Texas Tech is going to beat them. Because they don't have dynamic shot creators. They don't have one player that's just better than everybody else on the court like KU has in Ochai. So I just don't really see Texas Tech beating them. Now, if it's a very close game at the end, their defense, they're a really good defensive team. They might be able to squeeze it out, but I just don't see.
Defense wins championships, they say.
This is true. But come March, you got to have that. You got to have a scoring guard. You got to have them kill it. They don't have that. They're more of a, everybody pitching and score a little bit here, score a little bit there. They don't have one guy that's going to go for 30.
So they need like a LeBron against Golden State.
That's a 50. Oh yeah, we don't want to talk about LeBron.
We got 5 minutes left.
He had 50 last night. Did he not? Have 50 Yeah, 50.
No, okay. I didn't see that. Sorry.
You see Steve.
It was a minute. Oh man, I didn't know. At this point, it's just regular occurrence now. What's that?
It's like
but real quick though, to be honest about Texas Tech, they matching up with KU. The matchup really doesn't equate, right? When you look at the way KU got to the Big 12 championship, they didn't have these other teams. You look at TCU, they didn't really have a guy that was big inside, right? When you look at Texas Tech, they have some big guys that can score, and then their guard play, they have 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" in their front court. Yeah, so you're gonna throw out some guys that are 6'2", 6'3". Sometimes, and Bill Self said it's like sometimes I can't play some smaller guards because you can't put them out there at the same time. So I think that's going to be a little bit of a frustrating factor when you look at KU and how they match up with Texas Tech today.
I like Juan, the little point guard.
Yeah.
I like him. He doesn't turn the ball over. He facilitates well. He runs the offense. He plays great pressure defense. But he is surrounded with long guys on the wing with CD and Ochai. So it's hard to take advantage of those little guards when you have tall wings like that can move like the way they can move. So we'll see what happens. Texas Tech is very, very tall and long, and they're physical. Like they will try to shove KU around, but I don't see them, doing like they did the other teams. Like they did Iowa State, they completely babied them. Like it was not a contest. But I just don't see them shoving around KU.
Yeah. And y'all want to talk about LeBron. This is your 2 minutes of fame. Talk about LeBron. 2 minutes to talk about LeBron James. Who wants to go first?
All right. He scored 50. We ain't got to say much,
No, but really though, and I honestly, to be 36, 37 years old, and to be able to continue to play like that, man, I commend him for that. Honestly,
he's a cyborg.
It's crazy to go 56 in 1 week, and then knowing that you're gonna have to carry your team down. Now, this is LeBron I want to see. Like, carry your team. Playoffs are it's bleak right now.
Very.
So you gotta do what you need to do to get in there. And Jazz, your dad said Rock Chalk will be a tough game. Texas Tech strengths their defense. KU can't let Bryson Williams go. I agree. We watch Texas Tech. Once they get a lead, they don't relinquish it at all.
But also, last night KU had 4 or 5 shot clock violations.
Oh,
So their defense was locked down. So I even if they tried to get on the run, I don't know how far they'll get.
I'm gonna be different and say Texas Tech.
I mean, we got to have somebody that is right.
A little K-State bias.
And in 2019, the year before the pandemic, we saw KU fall in the championship game. Wasn't it to Iowa State?
Yeah.
Was it Iowa State?
It was Iowa State.
Yeah.
Iowa State. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. It's gonna be a good game, regardless. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I do see KU at the end kind of taking off.
No Cats.
All right, we appreciate everybody who joined in on today's show, 100.1 FM, the W Show. We also thank you to Rally House for allowing us to come down here. It's been a while, been a couple years since we've been down here. We're back. We appreciate them for allowing us to do our show here. Until next week, we are out of here.